The first World Happiness Report was published in 2012, more than 10 years ago. Since then, the UN has published an annual list of the world's happiest nations, or the places where people are, on average, happier than in other places. Many countries have experienced long-lasting pandemics, natural disasters, and wars over that time, but the UN and governments around the world are still dedicated to figuring out what exactly makes people happier so they can create policies to improve well-being. This study, which will be published on March 20th, 2023, World Happiness Day, considers 6 important variables that have a bearing on happiness: social support, money, health, independence, generosity, and the absence of corruption. It also looks at how happiness varies between nations. Spoiler alert, nations with a smaller happiness gap, where people have similar access to and experiences with the 6 components outlined above, tend to be happier overall. Number 10, New Zealand. The perception of a lack of corruption was examined as one of the elements in the happiness report. People in nations with strong institutional trust are happier than those who reside in less trustworthy and trusting situations. The 2022 Corruption Perceptions Study places New Zealand as joint second in the world when it comes to institutional trust. This is one of the variables that could push this nation into the top 10 once more. New Zealand typically rates strongly in worldwide rankings of trust in public services. Number 9, Luxembourg. Income was another factor examined for this report. Although it is a common misconception that money cannot purchase happiness, greater living standards, disposable income, and other benefits certainly have an impact on people's happiness. Compared to other countries, Luxembourg's average household income is significantly higher. Number 8, Switzerland. In many research categories, such as average income, education, health, and environmental quality, Switzerland routinely scores better than the global average. According to certain statistics, Switzerland has a life expectancy of 84.25 years, ranking it among the top 5 nations worldwide. Number 7, Norway. The World Happiness Report makes use of a variety of sources. Aristotle coined some of the ideas, such as the notion of eudaimonia, which he defined as the activity of the soul according to virtue. According to this theory, nations with populations who exhibit strong qualities like a sense of justice, the capacity to create and sustain friendships, and the character of citizenship are likely to have happier people overall. High levels of pro-social activity are crucial on both an individual and institutional level, since our pleasure does, in some respects, depend on the actions of those around us. Number 6, Sweden. Sweden has the second lowest position among the Nordic nations, coming in at number 6. It continues to be among the happiest places on Earth. The research reminds us that Sweden was the only Nordic country that did not inhibit community transmission at the outset of the pandemic, which highlights a significant difference in how the country managed the pandemic compared to its Nordic neighbors. Number 5, the Netherlands. There are 3 groups of nations in the world: common interest states, special interest states, and weak states. In general, common interest states can embrace a wide range of welfare-enhancing legislation that raises people's level of happiness. State efficacy, which is determined by a nation's capacity to raise funds, provide services, and prevent repression and civil war, among other things, has an impact on which category a nation falls under. These parameters and life happiness are correlated. The average life satisfaction in the Netherlands is 2 points greater than in weak states, making it one of the so-called common interest states. Number 4, Israel. Israel is now in 4th place, moving up 5 spots from last year's research when it was ranked 9th. Israel does better than many other nations in terms of health, social relationships, and life satisfaction, according to the OECD. Number 3, Iceland. Another country with a shared interest that we previously mentioned is Iceland. Denmark, Iceland, Finland, Norway, and Sweden all scored highly for equality and happiness, and we know that equality increases overall life satisfaction. Number 2, Denmark. The top 3 nations in this study are all from the Nordic region, speaking of which. In the report, Denmark maintains its 2nd place finish from the previous year. Its population frequently ranks as one of the happiest in the world, despite the nation having some of the highest tax rates in the world. This is due to the country's extensive access to high-quality public services. Number 1, Finland. Finland has been recognized as the happiest nation in the world for the 6th consecutive year. Finland consistently ranks first on metrics like charity. People in Finland are quite likely to anticipate lost wallets to be returned, for example. Affluence, freedom of choice, and life expectancy. And that concludes our countdown of the top 10 happiest countries in the world. From breathtaking landscapes to strong social connections, these nations have truly mastered the art of happiness. We hope you enjoyed this journey through the happiest countries on the planet. Remember, happiness is not just a destination, but a way of life. If you found this video inspiring, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more captivating content on travel, culture, and the pursuit of happiness. Which of these top 10 happiest countries would you like to visit? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. And until next time, may your journey be filled with joy, love, and endless smiles. Stay happy, my friends.